Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Once again, I'm a few minutes later, received a phone call at the last minute. Hello, hello, everybody. I'm actually reading a text message now. Hello, I see two people. Welcome. I'm a couple of minutes late. I received a phone call. Last minute phone call, then had to go take care of my kitties. I hope everybody's doing well. Hello, hello. Let's see. It's December 7, 2024. It's Saturday. And I went to the Institute for Justice website and found that information on the Pasco sheriff admitting that predictive policing program violated the Constitution. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to leave a link in the chat for anybody that wants to subscribe to the new Substack newsletter. I've only written an introduction so far. I haven't had any time to write anything substantial, but I just wanted to get a mailing list together, in case of an emergency, in case I need to say something off of VayTube. Hello, everybody. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come into the live. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, and it kind of combats the VayTube algorithm. And Weeping Willow posted a good video just a short while ago, and I'm reading the comments. It was about Morgellons, and I'm just reading a response because somebody purchased a microscope and she found this stuff all over her body. Yes, thank you. Yes, hit the thumbs up. I see there are 8 people, 3 thumbs up. We're missing 5 thumbs up. Some people just sign on. I mean, I'm guilty of doing this too. Like, I'll sign on to a chat or a video and I'll walk away. I'll walk away, do something, listen in the background. But yeah, Weeping Willow posted a video, Morgellons and Dr. Bronner's soap and Smart Skin. And I don't know if you've used Dr. Bronner's soap. It's really good stuff. And it's so concentrated that even though it's a little pricey, I mean, it's not, considering that you only need to use a few drops of it compared to, what you normally would. So one of the people that commented on your video says, "Let me tell you, I just bought a microscope and I'm covered with nanotechnology skin. It made me sick looking at it. Thank you for telling me about this soap." How do we know if we have Morgellons or just the skin technology? I have been sick and on antibiotics for over a year and a half. So I responded that if anybody is taking antibiotics for that long, you really do need to take a probiotic. because the antibiotics kill not only the bad bacteria, but also the good flora, the good bacteria. So Weeping Willow says, if you have Morgellons, you will know it. You will have constant itching, crawling, stinging sensations all over the body. You will have to do something about it because it's just too tormenting. If you don't have Morgellons, you will not know you have the smart skin unless you hear about it and start removing it. Then, when you start removing it, you will see a white fungus come out of your skin. This is the smart skin. The more you remove it, the more you'll see, depending on how impacted you are. It took about 2 weeks of tub soaking in Epsom salt before I noticed anything coming out. It was buried so deep inside my skin that if I hadn't gotten Morgellons, I wouldn't have known that it was there. You will need to do the tub soakings in Epsom salt, and the salt will bring the nanobots to the surface. You can use any kind of salt. She says, try not to freak out. It's a long process. Don't expect to be rid of it quickly. Let it play out and go with the flow. Please know that everybody has this smart skin, and not everybody will want to remove it. I want to get rid of it. I don't want anything that's smart. My phone is not all that smart. I don't have a smart washing machine or a dryer. I purposely purchased appliances that were not smart. The smart appliances cost so much more money, and they break down, and they're spies. Anything smart is a spy. She says that if you choose to not remove the smart skin, you'll become transhuman and connected to the global network, the Internet of Things. She says, stay heart-centered in love and choose the light, and you'll be okay. I know the link for the ebook did not show up for hours later. I just now got these comments, and the video isn't even showing up on her dashboard. Yeah, everybody's getting censored like crazy.
Hey, everybody.
So, let's see. Well, I'm gonna wait just a couple more minutes. Wait for a couple of more people to come in, and I want to read from the Institute of Justice website about this Pasco sheriff. And the predictive policing. So on the Institute of Justice website, and in fact, I will, because I can post the link here, I'll post the link so that you have it also. Yeah, I don't blame you. You don't like driving new cars with a bunch of electronic devices. I prefer the older cars too. I actually like the way the older cars look. They're bigger inside, and I don't like all those buttons and stuff. I don't need to have the navigation and stuff. I don't drive anywhere anyway. But I can understand how people who do a lot of driving back and forth to work, or for a living and stuff, that you need some of these bells and whistles. But I don't. I don't really care about it. So I posted the article to the Institute for Justice. It's entitled Case Closed. Pasco Sheriff Admits Predictive Policing Program Violated Constitution. The sheriff admits the program led to multiple constitutional violations and agrees to six-figure settlement. This is posted December 4 of this year by J. Justin Wilson. IJ is a public interest law firm. They represent clients free of charge in cutting edge litigation, defending vital constitutional rights. And they say you can join us by supporting our work here. And they have they have a donation button there. But they also get a lot of money from winning these lawsuits. So for more than 3 years, the Pasco County, Florida sheriff vigorously resisted the federal lawsuit brought by the Institute of Justice, challenging a controversial policing program that resulted in repeated harassment of children and their family. Today, on the eve of the trial, the sheriff capitulated, admitting that the program resulted in repeated constitutional violations and pledging that it will never resume. The challenge program has been compared to a real-life version of Minority Report, using a crude computer algorithm designed to predict who would commit future crimes. The Pasco Sheriff's Office identified a list of quote-unquote prolific offenders. Many people listed were under the age of 18. People on the list and their families were subjected to prolific offender checks, during which deputies looked to cite them for issues like having the grass that was too long, missing house numbers, unvaccinated pets, and excessive window tint on parked cars. For years, the Pasco sheriff ran an unconstitutional program, harassing kids and their parents because of a glorified Excel spreadsheet predicted that they would commit future crimes, said IJ senior attorney Rob Johnson. Today, the sheriff acknowledged that dystopian program violated the Constitution and agreed never to bring it back. In the settlement agreement, the sheriff's office agreed that the program violated the Constitution in 3 separate ways. 1, the sheriff admitted that the program violated the Fourth Amendment. Law enforcement has the quote unquote implied license to knock on an innocent person's door, just like any member of the public. But as the settlement agreement finds, the prolific offender checks were performed at the plaintiff's residences that exceeded the implied license. Second, the sheriff admitted that the program violated the First Amendment, which protects people from being punished for their intimate associations, like that with family members. The prolific offender checks directly and substantially interfered with the plaintiff's right of intimate association. Third, the sheriff admitted that the program violated the 14th Amendment's guarantee of due process because of the prolific offender checks interfered with the plaintiff's liberty interests. The settlement agreement includes a 6-figure settlement for the plaintiffs, along with a promise that the sheriff has ended the program and that it will never resume. The federal court retains jurisdiction to enforce the settlement. For years, the Pasco Sheriff's Office treated me like they could do anything that they wanted, Darlene Deegan said, but today proves that when ordinary people stand up for themselves, the Constitution still means what it says. As the case proceeded, IJ uncovered explosive documents in which the sheriff's office employees laid out objectives of the program. And in one email, a deputy stated that the goal is to get them to move away or go to prison. You hear that, targeted people? Their goal is to get you to move away or go to prison. I hope the criminals that are listening to me can hear that the Institute of Justice uncovered that the goal is to get them to move away, or go to prison. Another deputy responsible for code enforcement citations bragged in his annual performance review that his most significant work-related accomplishment was that he assisted in getting people, mainly the prolific offenders from 13 addresses, evicted from their homes. Oh, the deputy bragged in his performance review that he got 13 people evicted from their homes. Wow, that's something to brag about, huh? Oh, what a nice little officer, little deputy, huh? He bragged. In response, his supervisor praised him for his performance. IJ also uncovered hundreds of hours of body camera footage vividly depicting the harassment of plaintiffs and their families. Oh, I can't wait to contact these people. In one video, deputies walk around the back of a plaintiff's house late at night and knock on his window, telling him to come out of the house so they can write him a code citation. In another video, a deputy expressly tells a plaintiff that they are writing her citations because her son was just on the offender list. And in another one, the deputy tells another that they're going to, quote, keep on harassing them every single day, unquote. Oh, isn't that nice? Wow. Pasco County's prolific offender program turned the criminal justice system on its head, concluded IJ senior attorney Ari Bargel. In America, we deal with crime by convicting criminals in court, not by punishing people we think might be criminals in the future. It took 3 years to teach the Pasco Sheriff's Office that lesson, but we expect today's settlement will help other jurisdictions learn a little quicker. Yeah. Good evening, con artist. Hi, Franjo. I did hear about those New Jersey drones. They say they don't know what they are. Oh, that's a crock of BS. Let me tell you something about New Jersey because I lived there for 30 years down the block from the Manalapan Police Department. They have a ton of money and they have drones. I know they have drones. You know why? Because when I FOIA requested them about the drones, I didn't receive a response. That's how you know that they've got drones, okay? They have tons of drones. They have so much money there. And in fact, before I moved, they completely built a new prosecutor's office, like a totally new building. And then they decorated the sheriff's department with these gold gilded emblems on all their doors. So they have enough money to purchase gilded emblems for their doors at the sheriff's department. Is that crazy? And there used to be a show called This Is How It's Made or something like that. And the New Jersey Sheriff's Office was on that show because they demonstrated how those emblems were made and how expensive they were. And they were gilded gold. Hi, con artist. So yeah, so for anybody that just came in, please remember to hit the thumbs up. And I just completed reading the Institute for Justice, that lawsuit against the Pasco sheriff who admits about the predictive policing program that violated the Constitution. Yeah, and the thing is, these deputies, they were like, they thought that they were doing something wonderful by evicting people from their homes. Like they were getting off on it. They were also getting off on listing people under the age of 18, so they could follow them then for the rest of their lives. I'll post the link again to the press release here. So also, in the last live, somebody commented about the possibility of starting a newsletter so that we could all stay in contact with each other. So I did. I started a Substack newsletter. It's free. And I don't know how often I'll be writing on it, but I thought it was a good idea so that I have your email addresses in case of an emergency, in case YouTube gets shut down or whatever, or in case, just an emergency. You never know. And also because I can post links in the news article, in the newsletter, that I can't post on YouTube. So if I find that there's something like really urgent that I want to talk about without speaking in tongues on YouTube, I might just, type it up on the Substack and pass it around that way. So anybody that wants to join it, it's up on the top there. It's https:/Lorraine Valenti, V as in Victor, ALENT, e.substack.com. So there was also something, one second here. So now I've been watching, Bobby's channel, and her channel is SHP. And she's the one, she does a lot of digging into the MAC addresses and what's connected to your IP address and all that. Well, anyway, we were discussing the drone issue. So somebody said that the drones are run by government contractors, military contractors. So I typed it in the search, and this is what I came up with. I found a website where you can search by zip code and find where the drones are each year and how much money they paid out for those little target contracts. It's called an MQM-36 target drone weapon system. Here, let me type it in for you. I'll place it in the chat here. You have at least 6 on any given night, but I only came aware of the drones through TI. Me too. Well, I knew that the drones existed, but I didn't know what they were used for, other than I know that realtors use drones to take aerial footage. I know that townships will use drones to photograph areas for development and stuff like that. But I had no idea that they were using them for other surveillance reasons. I had no idea. So let me get you the link here. So this is called the Target Drone Weapon System, 2002 Government Contracts Defense Departments. And here, see, you can search the defense contractor by zip code. Here, let me give you this because I can't. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. And then here is where you can search for the actual contracts. I just found this today, so I haven't really had time to really look through the website. But you might want to save these links so that you can play around with it. And when you type in your zip code, I mean, you'll see that they pop up there. Oh, yeah, you're saying, I'm happy the people. Hi, Radiant Butterfly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I posted some links. I just found this today through listening to SHP's YouTube channel, and she was talking about a woman, Katie. So I went to Katie's channel, and she's got a farm too, and she's got drones all over her farm. But she's been able to track these people and connect them to her internet and stuff. So I did a search online and I came up with the target drone weapon system. And these are defense contractors, they're military contractors. Now, this website only goes to 2020. I don't know why. Maybe they're not uh, putting the data out there anymore because people like us find out what they're up to. But I'll put it down there again. Let's see. This is what it's called. Exactly. There are so many different types of drones, but go to these websites and you'll see. So we don't know who's operating all of our drones. They could be military contractors, they could be private security firms, they could be the neighbors. You saw your drone up close? I only see it up in the sky. It moves. Like, it disappears from one place and then it moves to another. It pretends that it's a star, but it's not. It's not a star. It's way too bright and bigger than anything else in the sky. And it's not a planet. But these things are scary. Like, I searched for photos on the internet of drones, and some of them look like eerily like huge bugs. They look like they have two eyes, like two eyeballs. They're spooky looking. They look like huge spiders or something. They look like a DARPA creation. Exactly. They mimic stars. But they're weird because stars are fairly stationary, You look up at the sky and they're in the same place every night. But the drones are, and then they just disappear. They disappear like that big one that's, to the left of my neighbor's huge security light. It's there every day, yeah. And then it just disappears, and then it moves someplace else, like above my house. You have to wonder, like, what the drones are capable of doing other than just spying on you. I mean, can they look right into your home? Do they have that through the wall radar? I mean, I know for a fact that they have the ability to burn my grass, and they do. They did it last week. Yeah, so this drone thing, it's actually people in other states are talking about it now. And I guess because like on YouTube, if you click on one video and let's say it's about drones and then you exit out of it, then you'll see like all these other videos about drones. So I clicked on a woman, a YouTube creator who's like a homesteader. And she's in Arkansas, and they have drones. You've seen 3 drones come in together in uniform flight. When I lived in New Jersey, it was really weird. It was on like the night of the Oscars, I think it was during a commercial break or whatever. I went out to take out my trash, my garbage. I walked to the end of my driveway and I look up at the sky, and in the sky there were like all these twinkling lights. They were not stars. It was like it was more than a dozen of them, and it looked really pretty. And I didn't had no idea what it was. I didn't think that it was drones or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea what it was. But I remember calling the health department the next day and asking them if if there was anything special going on in the sky last night. They usually know. And they said no. And so I had drew a picture of it and sent it to him. I said no. He said no, there was nothing that, we weren't putting on any sky show or anything last night. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Cheryl says, one night I took the phone out to talk on the back porch. I never do that. And I guess they were confused and came looking for me, came 15 feet away from me on the back porch. Yeah, they are tracking you. So when you or I do something that's out of character or not our usual routine, it does throw them off. That's why, I mean, even Brian too says to multitask and do things that you normally wouldn't do. Yeah, 15 feet is close. That's really close. I had a helicopter over this house. I don't know if it was last summer or whatever, but it was like really close by. I think that was an intimidation tactic, like swooping down like that. Well, that's it. That's interesting, Cheryl. Cheryl says, I've been thinking about getting footage of my drone and putting it on next door neighborhood and ask what I should do just to bring awareness and see what everyone says. And con artist says, yes, makes sense. They're tracking and using do, etc., directed energy weapons. The program would take full advantage to harm us. And then Elise says, I believe the drones are able to tap into your phones and your automobile system. And that's very possible. It's very possible. I know that other people say, oh, it's the satellites that are harming you. But the satellites are much further up. Drones are a lot closer. Hey guys, remember to hit the thumbs up. I mean, ever since New Jersey has been reporting about the drones, like I first saw it on the Nextdoor neighborhood app because I received the alerts, from my old neighborhood, and they were talking about it. I go to the link, and there's just so many links about it. But then there are people across the country that are witnessing the drones. Like this woman in Arkansas says, "Well, the drones are here." So they're making their way across the country. So Cheryl says, I used to think it was just a surveillance drone. I no longer think that. I think it's more than surveillance. I do. I think it's a system to harm us. I mean, they definitely have the capabilities to burn my grass. I think I do, Cheryl, the Nextdoor. I might have it out here. I'm not sure. I think I looked for it. But I'm not tapped into it. Like I'm not subscribed to it, but I should. Frenio says people said in the UK near U.S. military bases they saw them. And, you know, of course, the mainstream news will blame it on some other country, right? That's just, you know, the way the mainstream news works. Let's just blame it on somebody else. But you know, I agree. I would like to know who owns them, if they're registered. Like, do they have to be registered? I mean, I think drones have a different licensing or something, you know, unlike an airplane. I mean, do they have to report when they're in the air? You know, because they are occupying airspace. Yeah, I did. Cheryl says, did you hear about the 20-foot long ones that just showed up over the military bases recently? You know, with everything that happened with Hurricane Helene in North Carolina, you would think that they would be sending drones there to help find people. Yes, that so Cheryl says that's what I'm hoping, Lorraine, that they have to be registered somewhere, and they should. I believe that they should. I'm wondering if they could be reported to the FCC. You know, if enough people start reporting seeing these things, they have to be chartered somehow. You know, they track satellites in the sky, airplanes, helicopters. You know, they have to be registered, licensed, and stuff. Now, I'm not talking about like little drones, like you and I would own to, I don't know, look for something. I'm talking about these big drones that look like stars in the sky. And I believe in some cities, states, towns, drones are not even permitted, if I remember correctly. The use of drones are not permitted in certain areas. You know, because think about it, they at the very minimum, they're a camera. So they are a flying camera. And you know, I haven't done any research on it. Um, you know, perhaps some of you smart people out there know a little bit more. Oli says those who own drones are supposed to register them with the FAA. Is that true? And Cheryl says, I have a smaller airport that's a few minutes away from me. One of these days, I'm going to drive there and see what the drone does. Oh, you mean see if it follows you to the airport? That would be interesting. Yeah, I wonder, like, if they're allowed to fly near an airport. I mean, some drones are very small, but the ones that are hanging out above my house and in the sky, those are huge. Yeah, let me see. Just gonna type it in here and see if drones have to be registered. Let's see. It says 3-year FAA drone registration. Learn how to register your drone with the FAA and get free registration labels. Then they have FAA drone pilot training. Become a certified drone pilot. And then it says here, do I need to register my drone? And if so, how do I register? Federal law requires all drones operated under 14 CFR Part 107 to be registered. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what that 14 CFR means. I'd have to look that up. The limited statutory exception for recreation requires registration of all aircraft weighing. Oh, so it goes by weight. If it weighs more than 0.55 pounds or 250 grams, it must be registered. So those things that we're seeing in the sky, they have to be registered. All registered aircraft must have their registration number displayed on the exterior. Oh, so if we can get pictures of these drones, they have to have a number. We'd be able to locate them then. And then it says to review the UAS registration information. I'll post the link for you. Let's see. They're not supposed to fly near airports. £50 pounds is heavy. This is 0.55. 0.55 pounds. 250 grams. I don't know. I think most of the, the small drones that you or and I would buy, only weigh a few pounds. And this is the Federal Aviation Administration website. They're located in Washington, D.C. Here, I'll put the contact information there for you. 1 second here. Yeah, I definitely, I don't know much about it. This is all new to me. Exactly. It's 0.55 pounds. So it's under it's like a half a pound. Yeah. Anything over a half a pound, 0.55 would have to be registered. So, all the other drones, like those little tiny drones that somebody might buy to fly in their backyard, don't have to be registered. Please remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. I see that there are 21 people listening in. Okay, so let's see. Elise says, me and my family member were returning back from out of town from the airport, and the shuttle bus took us back to our vehicle, and there was a drone in the airport parking lot near a vehicle. Yeah, yes. Well, let's hope everything goes okay with that inauguration. There are people that have predicted that there's going to be another attempt on his life. They don't, the dark side, the satanic losers, don't want him in office. Yes, it is good news that the drones have to be registered. So the thing is, if we know when the drones are near our properties and start keeping a log, like we have time to do this, but to start keeping a log and then contact the FAA, and they could probably look it up and say, hey, no, we don't have anything in that area. At a FOIA request for the drones that are flying in your area. That's a good idea. Dates and times that you've seen them. Absolutely. Well, the FAA, can they be FOIA requested? That's another thing. Let me see. Let me just check their website to see if let's see any. They have on their website links to aviation handbooks and manuals, charting data, aircraft handbooks and manuals. Well, this is the U.S. Department of Transportation. Okay, they're under the U.S. Department of Transportation. Yeah, you can FOIA request them. Now they've got a heading just for drones here. Now, 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. 1 second. So I'm going to click on the. Oh, wait a second. There's a regulations area here. Pilot records database, policy and guidance, rulemaking, airworthiness directives, the FAA regulations, forms. Let me see if in these forms there's a FOIA. Let's see. Okay, I found. Well, I typed in FOIA here. Here, let me just give you this link. Contact the FAA, ask for a FOIA request for the drones that they're flying over your area. They got to be the ones hitting, Cheryl says, her teeth. Yes, they can, because I've done it. People are asking any updates on Brian too. As far as Brian goes, he's still in Sweden, and people have been calling and they're not letting calls through to him or something like that. Cheryl says there's a young TI that lives in Canada and she's a hacker and says that they can be hacked. Anthony says, do you think Kash Patel will help end targeting if he takes over the FBI? He's been very critical of them. Well, I saw an interview with the whistleblower, Stephen Friend, the FBI suspendable whistleblower, and he actually likes Kash Patel, thinks that he's good person for the job. Teresa, get your own drone and hunt their drone. Tulsi Gabbard was on the Quiet Skies list. Now, when you're on either a no-fly or the Quiet Skies, you're made aware that you're on a list. So once you know that you're on a list, you can petition to get off the list. And she hired a bunch of attorneys to get her off the list. But I think that she would be a person, I mean, she now knows what it's like to be surveilled intensely, without her knowledge, against her will. But with targeted people, with the rest of us, when you FOIA request any intel agency, they'll tell you we can't confirm or deny that you're on a list. Yes, he's a truther. He's big in the truth movement. I mean, I did not know who he was. I've never heard of him before. So, let's see. Anthony says, what happened to the Supreme Court conference on Friday with the TJ law? I have no idea. I don't know. I generally, I'm on the mailing list, but I have no interest in TJ. I don't really want to talk about it. I don't have anything good to say, so I'll keep to myself. I don't have anything good to say about them. Zero. And that's going back to 2017. So I have a lot of experience knowing about them. Okay, that's it. Yes, they did. They lost. That, well, it's not that they lost. They kind of tossed it out. Again, I don't know all the details. I am on the mailing list, and I see that they just keep adding all these new directors, new officers, new advisors. Teelan says, do you know the name of the hacker? Does he have a YouTube channel? I think he should teach all of us how to hack. Well, there are a lot of young people on YouTube that will teach you how to hack. They just show you. And then there's his name is Rob Brackman. Rob Brackman. He's got a good YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Rob Brackman. Um, it's Braxman. Rob Braxman. Tech. Here, I'll stick it in the chat here. Rob Braxman Tech. That's it. Yeah, Rob Braxman. Yes, he's got really good information, Rob Braxman. No, I didn't see that. What a great idea. Did anyone ever see the video of people in Hong Kong using green laser pointers to take down a drone? It was several years ago. A green pointer messes with the steering. Oh, we'll have to invest in some green pointers. And look out for Charlie's solution to targeting. He has a video where he says that we all have a biofilm on our skin that makes us more sensitive to EMF. Yes, that's absolutely true. What they do is they infect our environment with dust, smart dust. I have a video from last summer where I'm using my black light and videotaping it, and you could see how disgusting it is. This is on a lamp. And it's so hard to get this stuff off. And yeah, they throw it in your house. They throw it in my chicken coops, all the dust. Yes, Rob Braxman has really good information. And you know, he invented his own telephone, like a private phone. He said the first time he created these phones, like they totally sold out. Yes, I do. What Olivia Charlie says is he says to use at least 3 cups of Epsom salt, and to stay in the tub for half an hour every day for like, I think he said 2 weeks. I don't. I mean, probably 3 times a week, I take an Epsom salt bath with baking soda and a little bit of borax, the Mule Team borax. And it definitely helps. I mean, I feel a lot better. But other people say, like that Onion Head Andrew, he says, especially for the guys, to shave your head. He says, you know, the women, he says, I know you're not going to shave your head, although half of our hair is missing anyway these days. So he says that the hair acts as an antenna. So like if you have, you know, a lot of hair under your armpits or your legs or whatever, that you might feel more targeting wherever you have hair. So yes, did see Look Out for Charlie's video. Now that was from several years ago. Anthony, the same here. Since I moved to Kentucky, I've lost half of my hair. It falls out. I mean, I can comb or brush my hair, and there's just clumps of my hair is falling out. But I can tell because I have like a small ponytail now, like pulling my hair back. Oh, you have a mohawk, con artist. Well, that wouldn't work for me here. This guy has a little small channel. I don't know. I'm planning on getting one of those guys' phones. Yeah, it sounds great. Has his own phone. But there is a guy out there, a hacker. He has a actually the way I describe him, he's like very tall and thin, and he's got this really pretty complexion. He looks, a little nerdy, a little dorky. And I actually just saw him. He popped up on my feed. And let's see if I can get to the when I click on YouTube, the main area here. Maybe he'll pop up again. I don't remember his name. Maybe if I just type in hacking, he'll come up. Let's see what happens. If you type in hacking in the search engine, oh, here he is. The ethical hacker. This is the guy. 1 second. This guy. Now this hacker, he uncovered here. You went to Thailand for a month last year and they tried to honey trap me with a female Mossad agent. I'm not kidding. And the EMF to my head while I slept was worse than here. Really? In Thailand? Okay, Cheryl. You see if you can find him. I just posted the link to who I think it might be. They call him the ethical hacker. People on your connecting flights from Las Vegas to Thailand. Oh goodness. Oh, please remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. Young nurses, they're trying to hook you up with a nurse at the hospital. Oh my goodness. Well, there isn't anybody around here that they can honey trap me with. That's why they send me cats instead. They gaslighted you. That's how you knew. How do you reply to people in a chat? I've been trying to figure it out. Oh, you just you can do the at sign and type their name like this. Let's see. Oh, that's not the same guy either? Oh. Oh, if you find him, let me know. I know that there are a lot of young people, both on TikTok and YouTube, that invent things, and they like to, you know, play with electronics and stuff, and they're really good at hacking. You'll find them on that Discord site. No. Anthony says, Lorraine, all these idiot ex-military contractors in Thailand had the New World Order tattoos like the pyramid with the all-seeing eye inside. Ooh. You might be, you know what, Lynn, I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to try to do it. Okay, so what happens is if I click on one of your names, like Anthony here, if I click on his name, I'll get channel activity, pin a message, report, remove, put user in timeout, hide the user, add as a moderator. So you type the @ sign, and then you could type like the first couple of letters of their name, and it will automatically populate. That's exactly right. Tattoos are very telling. They're very telling. And in fact, somebody told me that if you see somebody who's got their neck tattooed, you see people with their necks tattooed, that they're the ones who are the drug addicts. It seems like all these young people are tattooing themselves. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. You don't have any sound? Can you hear me, Lynn? T. Lynn? You cannot hear me? Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. If if you can't hear me, let me know. Because it could be on your end. Maybe you hit a button to mute it. Now please remember to hit the thumbs up. I'm seeing that there are 23 people listening and 15 thumbs up. Yes, they show you who they are with their symbols, and they always use symbols. And when they come in and out of your house and do things, they leave their symbols behind also. Sometimes you need a magnifying glass or a black light to see it. Yeah, they love to mess with the electronics. Austria? Um, well, I watch a YouTube creator called Survival Lily, and she's in Austria. I believe she's in Austria. I'm not sure about that. Survival Lily. Here, let me go find her. 1 second. Hi from Los Angeles. Hi, Joe. Okay, Joe is asking me a question. Do you feel if this program gets exposed in 2025 that TIs will receive compensation, or is it enough if the program just stops and no compensation? Okay. Well, that's a loaded question. Well, the program is getting exposed all the time. And these tiny wins, like with Institute of Justice, the civil rights lawyer exposing the way the cops are involved. Um, there's so much coming out now, and it's continue. And I think that if Trump gets rid of that FBI guy and gets, this is what I think. If heads start rolling at the FBI and they're getting new people, and he starts kicking people out and things start going south for them, some people are just going to automatically leave their jobs, which will be a good thing. Then there'll be some people that will turn into whistleblowers because they want to get on the good side, right? So they'll turn into the whistleblowers. If if Trump could shut down the fusion centers, that would be a huge win for everybody across the country, because the fusion centers and their operatives are the ones responsible for the slander campaigns. So I do think the program will be exposed, but then it comes down to, okay, the program's exposed. How many of those lists are there? How many of those lists will they hide? Right? How many of them will they hide? They'll have to reveal some of them, but they might hide others, right? I see 21 now. Yeah, I see the thumbs up now. Thank you. Thanks so much. Well, people have been compensated in the past for radiation experiments, but usually the people that were experimented on were not around anymore. It was their family members that received some kind of consolation or compensation. Um, I Zeph Daniel. I mean, I liked some of his old stuff, but I don't know. I don't know him personally. I don't listen to him anymore. But I'm hearing from other people, feedback from other people, that there's just something not right now. And again, I don't know. I don't follow him, so I don't have a frame of reference. I mean, the couple of videos that I did hear about him in the past, I think I even posted one or two on my YouTube channel, were pretty good. But I don't know. Well, what happens with the list is once you get on a list, they move you around through the lists. Dr. Catherine Horton married William Binney, and she posted a video, I guess a month or so ago. So they resurfaced again and have been creating some videos. As far as the loaded question that Joe posed, this is just for me personally. It's not enough for me if it just shuts down. It'll never be enough because they've stolen 12, 15 years of my life, my income, my pets. I want people prosecuted. I want compensation. And the way it works in the legal system, okay, you don't just go to court and say, okay, I want this, I want that, and it's going to end. That's not the way it works. There are octopuses all over the place. So you shut down one, but they've already gave your name to a zillion other places. So it has to be like a really strong mandate where it hits people in their pocketbooks. That's the only way, is to shut down entire agencies and defund, stop the money. It's sort of like with, that war that we keep sending money to, which we're not going to talk about. But we keep sending money there. It's never going to stop. It's sort of like you keep buying, you keep spending when you have money. If you don't have money, it has to stop. I mean, of course, there are a lot of losers that'll just do it for the kicks and giggles and the satanic thrill that they get. But then what happens is if a program gets shut down and those losers who will do it for fun, for free, they'll get prosecuted. Yeah, they only post a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What does a happily married man look like? He's injured. He has physical injuries, so he's not in the best physical condition. So um, I think that he's not even able to walk anymore. So he's probably blessed that he's got a young woman there to help him. Oh, okay. I don't know. Again, I wasn't even aware that he still had a channel or was still providing content. What's the name of his channel, Cheryl? They're saying Zeph lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, well, Benny, first of all, yes, he looks like he's lost weight. I believe he's got physical difficulties. He has difficulty getting around. So it's life has got to be a little hard for them. So if that's the case, then I would imagine that Catherine has to help him. And again, I don't know really anything about them personally. I've never been in contact with them via email, except Catherine devised the most thorough questionnaire a few years ago, and I was in contact with her about completing that questionnaire. I don't know whatever happens to all the questionnaires that people completed. I don't know. Okay, so are you talking about Benny or Zeph is on Substack? Oh, Zeph is on Substack. Okay. He got kicked off YouTube. Why did he get kicked off YouTube? The one thing about Zeph, I noticed that his videos are all very, very long. I don't know if they were all lives. Like this live is long. The live streams are usually long, like it's over an hour now. Probably Alexandra. Is that the name? Probably Alexandra. Let me find it. 1 second. Oh, I see. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I see she's got she turns her comments off. She's got a testimony here. She has a lot of subscribers. Is she a targeted person? Probably Alexandra. Oh, okay. Yeah, Cheryl, his videos were very long. Oh, so Anthony, you think that she's targeted, but she's not aware. She's got a lot of subscribers. She's got 74,000 subscribers. Well, some of her content, she has physical issues. Yeah, I'm looking at her content, and a lot of her content is sort of like very popular. The truth about the financial reset. Should Christians celebrate Christmas? The inconvenient history, how the occult societies shaped our world. Programs. She just talked about a little bit about MK Ultra. So I mean, she could be a targeted person, but she just doesn't talk about it, and that's probably why her channel is so large. But she also writes next to her name, probably Alexandra, Christian research video essays. And in the description, it says, whether you're searching for answers or a fellow brother or sister in Christ, my passion is helping others understand the world through a biblical lens. Through in-depth research and video essays on current events, hidden history, and exposing secret societies and Luciferian tricks, I hope to help you strengthen your armor against the world by encouraging you to keep your eyes on Jesus Christ. So that's what her channels are about. Well, I mean, empathic people feel that way, Joe, right? The world is a miserable place to live. The world doesn't need people who lack empathy, just being real. Yeah, that's true. If she gets a lot of exposure, she would be experiencing immediate problems. Yeah, that's why like some people say like there are some targeted people that have like a lot of subscribers, like a lot, like, there's this one called The New Breed Till the World's Over, and he's got so many subscribers, and some people say he's targeted, some people say he's not, but he's been around for a long time. And the same thing with the narc survivor guy. He's a targeted person. I'm just like scrolling up and trying to see if I missed something in the chat here. Well, I asked AI this week. I said, could you tell me about the CIA chaos program? Why was it created? Who's it used against? How can we end this program? The Chaos Program was an operation conducted by the Central Intelligence Agency from 1967 to 74. Its official name was Operation Chaos. Isn't that lovely? Operation Chaos. And it was part of the broader counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO. Below is an outline of its origins, purposes, and its eventual exposure and termination. Oh yeah, like it really ended. Why was Operation Chaos created? Operation Chaos was established during the Cold War in response to concerns about foreign influence on domestic dissent movements, particularly anti-Vietnam War protests and civil rights activism. The CIA's mandate prohibited domestic operations, but chaos was justified internally under the premise of investigating possible links between U.S. protest groups and foreign governments, especially communist nations like the Soviet Union and China. It was created under orders from President Lyndon B. Johnson and expanded under President Richard Nixon. The CIA believed that some of the social upheavals in the 60s might have been influenced or funded by foreign actors, which posed a potential national security threat. So, who was targeted by Operation Chaos? Although the program was ostensibly designed to track foreign influence, it largely targeted American citizens and domestic groups. Key targets included anti-war activists protesting U.S. government involvement in Vietnam, civil rights organizations such as the Black Panther Party, leftist and countercultural movements like the Students for the Democratic Society, and others associated with the New Left, journalists, academics, and other individuals suspected of having ties to these movements. Suspected, there it is, suspected, like they're predictive policing. The operation collected detailed files on thousands of individuals and groups, many of whom who had no verifiable foreign connections. Spying tactics included infiltration of organizations, surveillance, and complying watch lists of activists. There you go. Watch lists of activists. How was it exposed and ended? Operation Chaos was exposed in the 1970s following a series of investigative reports by journalists and whistleblowers. The key developments included: 1. The New York Times investigations in 1974 revealed the existence of domestic surveillance programs conducted by the CIA. 2. The Church Committee hearings 75 to 76 in the U.S. Senate brought to light extensive abuses by intelligence agencies, including chaos. 3. The Freedom of Information FOIA requests of the 1970s and later decades uncovered more details. The revelations caused public outrage as the CIA violated its charter by conducting domestic operations. Operation Chaos was formally terminated, cough, cough, in 1974, and reforms were introduced. Yeah, they reformed it into Chaos 10.0, 2024. The revelations caused public outrage. The reforms were introduced, such as Executive Order 11905, which reinforced prohibitions against domestic spying by intelligence agencies. Did you hear that? How can such programs be prevented or ended? Preventing similar programs requires a combination of public vigilance, transparency, and robust oversight mechanisms. Steps to achieve this include: 1. Strengthening oversight. Ensure that intelligence agencies are closely monitored by independent congressional committees and inspectors general. Require periodic audits of classified programs to ensure compliance with laws. Number 2, whistleblower protections. Protect individuals who expose legal or unethical activities within government agencies. Encourage transparency through robust legal frameworks. Number 3, public awareness and advocacy. Demand transparency from government agencies about surveillance activities. Advocate for civil liberties and privacy protections in the digital age. 4, legislative safeguards. Strengthen laws that explicitly prohibit domestic spying by agencies like the CIA. Limit data collection powers of government entities without judicial oversight, like the fusion centers. Technological countermeasures. Number 5. promote the use of encryption and privacy-focused technologies to protect individuals and organizations from unwarranted surveillance. So I thought that was interesting. I've got more here. I'm a little tired of reading. I might read this in another. This is like a part 2 of the Operation Chaos. I might read it in another video. I'm just going to check what you guys are saying here. Thoughts on control operators Alex Jones, Mike Adams, Steve Quayle. I don't know who Steve Quayle is. Mike Adams has been around for a really long time. You know, he's in the health movement. Alex Jones, I don't know. He speaks the truth, but I don't really know. I don't follow those. I don't know who Steve Quayle is. Obviously, most people know who Alex Jones is and Mike Adams. Oh yeah, I remember Maxwell Smart. Yes, and his nemesis was Chaos. Oh yes, and 99, his female colleague. Yeah, yes, I remember that show. Get Smart. Yeah, it was called Get Smart, right? Do you think he's one of the biggest kept secrets ever in history? Do you think the Earth is flat, or I don't care? I'm not. I'm not going there. Anthony, I'm not going to disclose where I'm going to live when I sell my don't. And it's not if I sell my place; it's when. I will be selling my place and I'm moving. You're asking a lot of questions that I don't want to answer. Okay, now it's making me wonder about you. You're asking me if John Hall or Romola D are perps. You're asking me if I think the Earth is flat or a globe. These are not questions that we're going to discuss here. Well, I will say that years ago, Romola interviewed me a few times. Like I was in a roundtable discussion with her and stuff. Yeah, Get Smart was a TV show. Um, and there was this weird thing where Karen Stewart was on the Chief Damon Jones show. I had asked her to come on, and she was speaking and stuff, and Romola got very pissed off at me for having her on. Evidently, I was not aware that they had a tiff between them. Like it's none of my business. When the tiff happened between Karen Stewart and Romola, I was in the process of moving. I had no idea what was going on at all. I don't get involved in other people's issues anyway, whether you're a targeted person. I have enough going on in my own life to be paying attention to everything that's going on in the targeted community. So, and I'm not going to talk about it. Like targeted justice, no comments. That's all I'll say is no comment. I've got no comments. Zero comments. Yeah, well, this is what happens in the targeted community. Everybody calls everybody else a perp. Um, I think what it is there are a lot of very intelligent, independent people in that are targeted. People who have had prolific careers, earned a lot of money, high-ranking positions, and then they're stuck in this hot mess. And everybody's trying to be better than everybody else and earn a living, and I think it's just a mess. And I think that the conference calls just promote dissension amongst people. Nothing ever gets done. Oh, do I think that gang stalking is one of the biggest kept secrets? Well, it's definitely most people are not aware that it exists. I did not know it existed until it happened to me. I didn't know, Joe. So, it is a secret. And you wanna know why? Because it's huge money-making business, and it involves all the intelligence agencies, state funding, city funding, the Freemasons. It involves so many people. They all got their little paws in the basket. All their little nasty little dirty paws are in the basket. So yeah, they're gonna keep it a secret. You wanna know why? I know that because when I lived in New Jersey, I think I'd mentioned a couple of videos. I had this friend, Sue-Ann. Sue-Ann was a volunteer firefighter. She worked at a real estate company. She was a certified death investigator who studied the blood spatter patterns and went to conferences all over the world to study this stuff. So when I told her that my house was being broken into and stuff, and she asked me what my zip code was. So she was able to look up my name in some database, look up my zip code. She comes to my house, looks at the photos, and I'm watching her look at the photos. And I know she knows what she's looking at. That this was not some like addict or whatever trying to break into my house. So this was a professional job. She turns to me and says, "Who did you piss off?" So now I'd known her for years. We hung out together. I even took a runes class with her. We kayaked together, had barbecues together, tarot cards together. Um, so we did this for years. So my house gets broken into. I show her the photos, and she turns to me and says, "Who did you piss off?" So evidently, she knows about the program. In all the years that I knew her, she never talked about it. Anthony is asking, do you think I could have been put in the program for sleeping with a Freemason's wife? I think you could be put in the program for sleeping with anybody's wife, right? And what if that anybody was a cop? What if that anybody was a lawyer? What if that anybody was a government official? Yeah, yeah, exactly. We need to focus on shutting this thing down and not getting distracted. Well, I don't really care about who I do you know how do you have any idea how many perps are subscribed to my channel? um, some of the really good ones leave nice comments, and some of the really bad ones that leave nasty comments, I just delete. I just unsubscribe them and block them. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, what I've come to realize is the people who are in a position to nominate you into this program, they they're generally very immature, revengeful, spiteful, sociopathic, psychotic, narcissistic. I mean, just think about it. Could you imagine? Think in your own life, in your lifetime, how many people pissed you off, right? And people make all kinds of mistakes. This is we're in this lifetime to learn and to grow. You know, it's all about growth, learning from our mistakes and stuff. Um, but we've got a lot of positive things that are on the horizon. First is Tulsi Gabbard coming out and saying that she was placed on the Quiet Skies list. So as part of the incoming administration, this is going to be fresh in her memory and what it did to her life, and that if it affected her this way, a woman in a position of authority, government, financial means and stuff, think of all the people under her that this is happening to and how wrong it is. And then you think about the incoming president as being, I mean, as much as all of us want to think that we are like the head targeted person, that our stalking is off the charts, and it is, there ain't nobody more targeted than Trump. Let's face it. He is the poster child for the targeted individual. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Like, he's not the poster child for the targeted individual. I just have to stand up. I'm getting like cramps here from just sitting in the same position for too long. So anyway, guys, it's just a couple of minutes after midnight. I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you all for joining in the chat and all of your, wonderful information and stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of positive stuff on the horizon. The Institute of Justice outing the Pasco County and them admitting that they would place people on these government programs without due process. I mean, that's huge. They admitted to this. So let's see. You looked at your subscriptions and I could not find that young man. Oh, that's too bad. I know that happens to me too. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, you're so welcome. Oh, Anthony, I understand. I get it. And the chat is the easiest, during these live streams, it's the easiest way to ask questions and get immediate feedback. When you're leaving comments, that's great in the comments section under the videos. But sometimes I can just click the little heart button because I don't have time to comment to everybody's feedback. But thank you all for joining in here. And so we had a good conversation about drones. So we need to do more research about drones and keep a log about the drones that are over our house and see if they're registered. And keep an eye on this lawsuit and see if see if Institute for Justice is now contacted by other people in other counties. So, well, you're welcome, everybody. I'm going to sign off for now. I hope everybody has a good night.